My cousin crashed my car and sued me for his medical bills because I should have maintained the brakes better. I released the dashcam footage proving he was texting and speeding. His insurance denied his claim, and I successfully sued him for the full value of my car plus legal fees. I, 29 male, let my cousin, 27, borrow my car exactly once, and somehow that single act of family kindness turned into an 18-month legal nightmare that nearly tore my entire extended family apart. Let me back up. My cousin and I grew up pretty close. Our moms are sisters, and we spent most holidays and summers together as kids. He's always been the golden child of our generation. Charming, good-looking, could talk his way out of anything. I was more the quiet, reliable type. The one people called when they needed help moving or a ride to the airport. 3 months ago, my cousin's car was in the shop, something with the transmission. He asked if he could borrow mine for a weekend trip to visit his girlfriend who lives about 2 hours away. I drive a 2019 Honda Accord that I bought certified pre-owned and have maintained religiously. Service records for everything. I'm that guy. I hesitated, but family pressure kicked in. My aunt called. He really needs this. You're not even using it this weekend. My mom chimed in too. Just help him out. He'd do the same for you. Would he though? I had my doubts, but I agreed anyway because that's what I do. I'm the reliable one, remember? The only condition I set, drive carefully. This car is my baby. He laughed. Relax, I'm a great driver. Never even had a ticket. That was a lie, but I didn't know it at the time. Saturday evening, I got a call from an unknown number. It was my cousin calling from the hospital. He'd crashed my car, totaled it, wrapped it around a guardrail on the highway. My first question, are you okay? He was. Broken wrists and bruising, mild concussion, could have been much worse. My second question, what happened? His answer, the brakes failed. I was coming up on traffic and they just didn't work. I felt my stomach drop. Not because I believed him. I knew my brakes were fine. I'd had the car serviced 3 weeks earlier. Full inspection, but I knew where this was going. Here's what my cousin didn't know. I have a dashcam. Dual-facing, front and interior, with audio. I'd installed it 2 years ago after a minor fender bender that turned into a he-said-she-said nightmare. Best $200 I ever spent. The footage automatically uploads to cloud storage, and it captured everything. What actually happened? My cousin was doing 87 in a 65 zone. He was texting. The interior camera clearly shows him looking down at his phone repeatedly. When traffic slowed ahead, he didn't notice until the last second. He slammed on the brakes, which worked perfectly by the way. But at that speed, he couldn't stop in time. He swerved to avoid rear-ending someone and lost control. The brakes didn't fail. Physics failed him. You can't text, speed, and expect to stop on a dime. I didn't mention the dashcam right away. I wanted to see how this would play out. Call it intuition, call it self-preservation. I'd learned enough about my cousin over the years to know he'd try to spin this. The next few weeks were a mess. My car was totaled. Insurance valued it at $18,500. But here's where it got complicated. My cousin filed a claim with My Insurance, saying he was an authorized driver and the accident was due to mechanical failure. He wanted them to pay for his medical bills, about $12,000, plus he was angling for pain and suffering. My insurance company called me. We need to investigate. Your cousin is claiming brake failure. The brakes were fine, I said. I have documentation. He's also saying you knew there were issues but didn't disclose them. I almost dropped my phone. That's a lie. We'll need to verify everything. In the meantime, your premiums may be affected. This is where I made my first move. I contacted my own lawyer, a family friend who handles personal injury and auto cases. Told him everything. Showed him the dashcam footage. His response, your cousin is trying to commit insurance fraud and he's setting you up to take the fall. Great. Just great. Update 1, 2 weeks later. Things escalated faster than I expected. My cousin, apparently emboldened by the fact that my insurance hadn't immediately rejected his claim, decided to go nuclear. I got served with papers. He was suing me personally for $45,000, medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering, and emotional distress. The complaint alleged that I negligently maintained my vehicle and knowingly allowed him to drive a dangerous then defective automobile. It also claimed I had verbally assured him the vehicle was safe when I knew or should have known about brake issues. I read it 3 times. Each time, my blood pressure went up another 10 points. My aunt called that night, and I made the mistake of answering. "Sweetie, I know this looks bad, but you need to understand, he's in a lot of pain. The medical bills are crushing him. His insurance won't cover everything. He just needs help." So his solution is to sue me, to lie about what happened. He's not lying. The brakes failed. They didn't. How would you know? You weren't there. I have a dash cam. Silence. Then what? A dash camera, everything, front and interior. I have video of the entire accident. He was texting and going almost 90 miles per hour. More silence. Then she hung up. 20 minutes later, my cousin called. I let it go to voicemail. His message: "Yo, we need to talk. I heard you have some video or whatever. Look, maybe we can work something out. Call me back." I didn't call back. The next day, my mom showed up at my apartment. She looked stressed. "Your aunt is hysterical. She's saying you're gonna ruin your cousin's life. Mom, he's suing me. He crashed my car while texting and speeding, and now he's trying to blame it on brake failure that never happened. Maybe you could just settle? Pay something to make this go away?" Pay for his mistakes? No. Family is more important than money, is it? Because he clearly doesn't think so. He's the one who made this legal. He's the one committing fraud. She didn't have an answer for that. My lawyer sent a formal response to my cousin's lawsuit, denying all allegations and specifically mentioning the existence of dashcam footage that contradicted his claims. We also filed a counter-complaint for the value of my totaled car, since his reckless driving caused the accident. My cousin's attorney requested a copy of the dashcam footage during discovery. We provided it. Then things got really interesting. 2 days after his lawyer received the footage, my cousin fired him. Just straight up terminated the representation. I found out later from mutual friends that his lawyer watched the video and basically said, "You need to drop this case immediately. You have no case, and you're potentially looking at fraud charges." My cousin didn't want to hear it. He found another lawyer, some ambulance chaser who clearly didn't do his due diligence before taking the case. Meanwhile, my insurance company completed their investigation. They found 1. Service records showing my brakes were inspected and certified as functional 3 weeks before the accident. 2. The dashcam footage showing my cousin texting and speeding. 3. Statements from the accident reconstruction expert confirming the brakes showed no signs of failure. 4. My cousin's own driving record. Turns out he'd had 3 speeding tickets in the past 2 years, and 1 previous accident that was deemed his fault. My insurance denied his claim entirely. Furthermore, they indicated they would be pursuing subrogation against HM for the $18,500 they paid out for my totaled car. When my cousin got that letter, he lost it. I know because he showed up at my apartment, pounding on the door at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. "Open the door. I know you're in there." I opened it but kept the chain on. "What do you want?" "You need to call off your insurance company." "I can't do that. That's not how insurance works." "This is insane. You're ruining my life over a car." "No, you're ruining your life by lying and committing fraud." "All I did was tell the truth. The brakes failed." "I have video of you texting at 87 miles per hour. That video doesn't prove anything." "It proves everything. Your own lawyer dropped you after seeing it." His face went red. "You're dead to me. You know that?" "Dead." "Cool, now get off my property before I call the cops." He left, but not before kicking my doorframe hard enough to leave a dent. I documented it, added it to the file. Update 2: 6 weeks later. The family situation had completely fractured. My aunt wasn't speaking to my mom. My mom was caught in the middle and miserable about it. Holiday plans were being renegotiated to avoid conflict. My grandmother, who's 84 and doesn't really understand what's happening, kept asking why everyone was fighting. But legally, things were progressing in my favor. My cousin's new lawyer filed a motion to dismiss my countersuit, arguing that since he was an authorized driver, I couldn't hold him responsible for the accident. My lawyer demolished that argument. Being authorized to drive doesn't mean being authorized to speed and text. He violated the terms of reasonable use. Furthermore, his negligent operation of the vehicle caused the damage. Motion denied. Then came the depositions. My cousin's deposition was a disaster for him. His lawyer tried to lead him through a narrative about the brakes feeling off during the drive. But our lawyer had the footage queued up. Sir, at 3:47 p.m. on the day of the accident, the dashcam shows you traveling at 87 miles per hour. Is that correct? I don't know. The speedometer might have been wrong. The dashcam has GPS tracking. It logged your speed. Silence. Sir, the interior camera shows you looking down at your phone 12 times in the 3 minutes before the accident. What were you doing? I was checking GPS. Your phone records, which we've subpoenaed, show text messages sent at 3:45 and 3:46 p.m. Who were you texting? His face went pale. I want to take a break. The break lasted 20 minutes. When they came back, his lawyer looked like someone had kicked his dog. My cousin tried to double down. Look, even if I was going a little fast, the brakes should have handled it. They felt weird. Can you describe weird? Just not responsive. The accident reconstruction expert found no evidence of brake failure. The brake pads were at 60% life. The fluid was clean, the rotors showed normal wear. How do you explain that? I don't know. Maybe your expert is wrong. He's been certified for 23 years and has testified in over 200 cases. More silence. My deposition, by contrast, was straightforward. Yes, I lent him the car. Yes, I told him to drive carefully. Yes, the car was properly maintained. Here are the service records. Here's the dashcam footage. No, I had no knowledge of any brake issues because there weren't any. After depositions, my cousin's lawyer approached mine about settlement. My client would be willing to drop his lawsuit if your client drops the countersuit and agrees not to cooperate with the insurance company's subrogation claim. My lawyer's response, no, we're proceeding to trial. Your client will spend more on legal fees than the car was worth. My client is seeking legal fees as part of the judgment, and frankly, your client should be worried about the fraud implications, not negotiating. The fraud thing was real, by the way. My lawyer had referred the case to the district attorney's office. Filing a false insurance claim is a felony in our state. I wasn't sure they'd actually pursue it. Prosecutors have bigger fish to fry, but the threat was enough to make my cousin sweat. He tried one more Hail Mary, getting the family involved again. My grandmother called me. Actually called me. She never calls anyone. Honey, your aunt says you're trying to send your cousin to prison. Grandma, that's not true. I'm just defending myself. He sued me first. Can't you just forgive him? Life is too short for this. I tried to handle this quietly. He's the one who made it a lawsuit. He's the one who lied. He's young. He made a mistake. He's 27 and he committed fraud. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. She sighed. I don't understand any of this. I just want everyone to get along. Me too, Grandma. But that's not up to me anymore. The guilt trip almost worked. Almost. But then I remembered the dent in my doorframe. The lies. The $45,000 lawsuit, the attempt to ruin my insurance rates and potentially put me on the hook for his medical bills when I did nothing wrong. Nah, we were going to trial. Update 3. The trial and aftermath. The trial lasted 2 days. Day 1 was mostly procedural and witness testimony. The accident reconstruction expert walked through his findings. The dashcam footage was played for the judge. Bench trial, no jury. My cousin's phone records were entered into evidence. My service records were verified. My cousin's defense was basically, the video doesn't prove the brakes were working. Maybe they failed and then worked again. Yes, his lawyer actually argued that intermittent brake failure, which left no physical evidence and contradicted the expert's findings, was responsible. It was desperate, and the judge's face showed he knew it. Day 2 was arguments and my cousin's testimony. He stuck to his story. Brakes felt weird. He wasn't speeding that much. He wasn't texting, just looking at his phone. The accident wasn't his fault. My lawyer's cross-examination was surgical. You testified the brakes felt weird. Did you report this to the owner of the vehicle before continuing to drive? No. Did you pull over to check? No. So your testimony is that you felt the brakes were potentially defective and continued to drive at 87 miles per hour while texting? I wasn't. Your phone records show texts sent at 3:45 and 3:46 p.m. The accident occurred at 3:48 p.m. Were you or were you not texting while driving? Long pause. I sent a couple texts. At 87 miles per hour, I didn't realize I was going that fast. The dashcam footage shows you passing multiple vehicles. Did you not notice you were passing everyone on the road? His lawyer objected. Overruled. I wasn't paying attention to my speed. Clearly, just like you weren't paying attention to the road when traffic slowed ahead. Objection. Withdrawn. No further questions. The judge took a day to deliberate. His ruling was comprehensive. 1. My cousin's lawsuit against me was dismissed with prejudice. There was no evidence of brake failure and overwhelming evidence that the accident was caused by his own negligent operation of the vehicle. 2. My countersuit was granted in full. My cousin was ordered to pay $18,500 for the fair market value of my totaled vehicle, plus $7,200 in legal fees I'd incurred. 3. The judge specifically noted that my cousin's claims were not credible and that his testimony was contradicted by objective evidence at every turn. Total judgment against my cousin, $25,700. But wait, there's more. Remember the insurance subrogation? My insurance company got their judgment too. Separate proceeding, same outcome. My cousin now owed them $18,500 as well. And the fraud referral? The DA's office decided not to pursue criminal charges. Not enough resources for a case this small, they said. But they did send my cousin a letter warning him that any future fraudulent claims would be aggressively prosecuted. That letter is now part of his permanent record with the state insurance database. His car insurance rates? Through the roof. He'd been paying about $180 a month. After the at-fault accident, the fraud flag, and the judgment, his new rate was $340 for bare minimum coverage. He couldn't afford it. His car sat uninsured for 3 months before he finally sold it and started taking the bus. The family fallout was complicated. My aunt still won't speak to me. She blames me for destroying her son. My mom has tried to play peacemaker, but even she's admitted that my cousin brought this on himself. Thanksgiving was awkward. Christmas was separate celebrations. My grandmother is sad about the whole thing, but has stopped trying to guilt me. My cousin? He's been making minimum payments on the judgment, $200 a month. At this rate, it'll take him over 10 years to pay it off. His credit is trashed. He can't finance anything. He's 27 with a fraud flag on his insurance record and a civil judgment that follows him around. He tried to reach out once, about 2 months after the trial. I know you won. Congrats. But I hope you're happy knowing you destroyed my life over a car. I didn't respond for a day. Then I sent one message. I didn't destroy anything. You crashed my car while texting and speeding, then lied about it and tried to make me pay. Every consequence you're facing is a direct result of your own choices. I just refused to be your victim. He never responded. I bought a new car last month. 2022 Civic, certified pre-owned, just like before. First thing I did? Installed a dashcam. Same model, dual-facing, cloud backup. Some people asked if I regret letting him borrow the car. Honestly, no. Because if I hadn't, I never would have seen who he really was. I would have kept thinking of him as my slightly irresponsible, but ultimately decent cousin. Instead, I learned that when things got hard, his first instinct was to lie, blame others, and try to make someone else pay for his mistakes. That's who he is. Now I know. Would I lend my car to family again? Maybe. To him? Never. The $25,700 judgment is nice on paper, but I know I'll probably never see all of it. That's okay. Some victories aren't about money. They're about truth. They're about refusing to be steamrolled by someone who thinks they can charm and manipulate their way out of accountability. He thought I'd fold. That family pressure would make me back down, that I'd rather pay than fight. He was wrong. And that dashcam footage? Worth every penny.